Just thinking. Hello, and we're live, coming at you today with my wonderful guest, Charlyn Oy. You may have seen Charlyn in the group previously, and I've brought her back again because she just keeps on doing amazing things that I want to share with you. So, hi, Charlyn, how are you?
Hi, Victoria. I'm good. How are you? And hello to everyone.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. I wanted to bring you on particularly to talk about diving into a new market with your offer and your mastermind. So why don't you give everyone an idea of who you are and what you do and who you help?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a dietitian and I specialize in IBS. So that's where I'm qualified in. I've been working online for about 2 years now, but predominantly was in a one-on-one, kind of clinic setting, seeing clients for the last few years.
Yeah.
But with your help, Victoria, I've been able to bring my practice online and now I'm fully operating online. And yeah, so it's really exciting. And I know that we're going to chat a little bit more about this new exciting sort of group that I've started as well for
Yeah.
practitioners. So I'm helping dietitians to also do the same, to bring the practice online
Mm-hmm.
and to be able to charge what they are worth, because that's a big area that a lot of us fall into, where we feel like we're afraid of charging more because we don't know if people do that, if we're worth that. So we can, yeah, definitely chat a little bit more about how I help people in that
Yeah.
regard. Yeah.
Yeah, because you've had that interesting journey, right? And you're not new to the online world, but you've still had a clinic and you've been in clinic as a practicing dietitian, and had a really busy clinic too. So you weren't sitting around going, okay, well, I'm twiddling my thumbs, because that is definitely not Charlyn. That is not
No, I
Charlyn.
can't
She
sit on my
takes
hands.
action. She's a mother of a toddler, wife and mother of a toddler, and a proud business owner. But she definitely doesn't sit around waiting for the world to come to her. That's what I love about you. And when you came to me, you'd already created a lower price membership for your IBS specifically. Your messaging is around helping people with IBS issues and
Yeah.
problems, which, immediately when we connected on a call and you told me that, I was like, that's great. It's gold. That message is so good. And really, on the face of it, Charlotte, and I think we said this before, there wasn't anything that you were doing wrong. Like, it wasn't like, oh, you've totally missed this, or your messaging was off, or it wasn't really, it just wasn't working as it should, and you were putting in all this work and thinking people weren't valuing the offer, right?
Yeah, yeah, and that's I suppose, one of the sides about memberships that I didn't see and didn't think about. And yes, I was enrolling people into the membership, but I just wasn't getting the numbers that I was expecting, especially at that lower price point of $49 a month, because we all know to see someone to get help for IBS, it can cost up to $1,000. And so at not 49 a month, I just thought that it would be a no-brainer for people to sign up, but I wasn't getting the numbers to kind of warrant the amount of time I was spending on marketing it, on creating content and all of that. So I just felt like I needed a different way of getting clients, and repackaging what I've got into something that's at a much higher price point. That's what you've helped me to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
Mm.
you went gangbusters, were able to get people into that new offer, get out of the clinic, particularly in times of Corona, which was perfect timing, really, and that you'd already
Mm.
created this other offer. So you weren't relying upon those clinic sessions. And I remember you even saying to me that, the rebate, or what people would charge for an hour with a dietitian now, it's just for, you're degree qualified, you're doing amazing work, and it's just kind of commoditized, right? You don't have
Yeah.
any room to move.
Absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of people, price shop around and they
Mm,
would only see people bulk bill, and the bulk billing fee was 53.80.
yeah.
And when, in the Corona times, when they first started providing those telehealth item
Mm,
numbers for allied health practitioners, you could only bulk bill, and they went on to change it later on, but it was such a small amount for so much more work that we do behind the scenes. So that
yeah.
definitely wasn't worthwhile. And I just felt, when people are looking for bulk billing practitioners, they're just really looking for that quick fix, and a lot of them aren't they operate at a slightly different level, I suppose, and not to kind of say a blanket statement over that, but a lot of people aren't ready to commit to something, to do the work to get the results. So once I've changed my price point from bulk, well, I'd never bulk bill anyway, but once I increased my price point to a much premium level, I saw that people were coming in, committing at a much, much deeper level. They're much more excited, and they're willing to put in the work to get the results as well. And that was, such a rewarding experience for me as a practitioner, because I could actually, really help someone through A to Z and get them the results that they want. And it just felt like the work that I was doing was much more fulfilling that way.
And you're attracting better clients. You're feeling, you're feeling great about the work you're doing. And then in turn, being able to do that led to us kind of putting our heads together going, why not go and help other dietitians do the same thing, right? So tell me a little bit about how it came about, or why that was a driver for you.
Yeah, well, it's always been one of my passions to coach and mentor, especially younger dietitians in the field. And I've kind of been doing that in the background, whilst I was working my clinics and just, coaching a few dietitians here and there, but never really formalized it into a program. And now that I've kind of been through the process and saw the potential for someone to really, as a clinician, to take our expertise online, our reach is much wider. For me personally, the majority of my clients are in the US. I would never have dreamt of working with US clients as well. And so, and learning about the culture and working with this very different group, that's been so rewarding for me. And with being able to sort of market my services online, on Instagram organically without any ads, I've been able to reap so much rewards from that. And I just saw the potential of it, and how a practitioner who's stuck in that clinic setting and now having to face much a drop in their client numbers because of Corona and the pandemic as well. I was just really excited about helping people to see that potential, to take that online and be able to charge what they're worth. And it's really exciting for me. And we've only started in mid-May, so it's only been 6 weeks. And I've been able to work with so many amazing practitioners, dietitians specifically, and see that a lot of them are already starting to see the results and feel so much better about what they offer as well.
And just having that flexibility. And so that was a real turning it on its head from being the being in a clinic setting or being the dietitian that's going to help them through a health outcome, to flipping the kind of side of, well, I'm going to mix up my metaphors, but flipping that around to being, I always tend to do that. Like stepping into being in your industry and being a leader in your industry. And so tell me about that, because that probably would have brought up a few fears, like, who am I to do that? We all, that happens to all of us. So did that happen for you?
It's a big step, I think, putting myself out there, because I've always been very comfortable being a dietitian, talking about what I offer and how I can help someone with gut problems, right? And then now stepping into a different level and then helping practitioners as well to help their clients. It's pretty scary for me in the beginning, especially having, those voices in my head saying that, are you sure you know what you're doing? Are you good enough? You don't have an MBA or business degree and things like that, and marketing experiences, except what I've kind of been through myself. And those were definitely doubts that were raised. But I think being in the Mastermind group that you have, Victoria, that's really helped me, and especially yourself as well. You've helped me overcome some of those doubts and work through some of those fears as well, because a lot of them were just irrational fears, I suppose.
Like
and
most of them.
Talking through that. Because I've been, able to prove myself in what I do. And even through Instagram as well, I've been able to grow my account. And I think, with all of those combined together, I've got the skills and knowledge to help someone who's earlier on in the journey. And that's helped me to put my fears aside, my doubts, things that were blocking me, and move forward into this new area. And I'm still working with, I've still got my toes in the water, helping IBS clients, because that's still the core of what I do. But now I'm really stepping into a new level and being a coach for dietitians as well. And and the thing is, it's a big gap area. There's not a lot of dietitian business coaches out there. And I really wanted to create something that's specific for dietitians and nutritionists who are trying to bring their nutrition business online.
Because that's the thing. We're always afraid to narrow down. But the gold is in the narrowing and the specificity, or they say the riches is in the niches in America, right? We say niche down here, but the riches are in the niches, and it's so true in that. Not only can you provide a higher level of service because you've got this innate understanding of a very specific circumstance, but this also creates a market opportunity where you actually move yourself away from competition and really can step up and shine from there. So I love that. And the other point I wanted to highlight is that the point you spoke to about not having an MBA or a business degree, and obviously you're degree qualified in the industry and you've had practical experience, but it's the biggest thing that people say to me, well, I don't have a qualification in that. I don't have a coaching certification. I don't have a, whatever it might be. I'm not qualified. So that often we talk ourselves out of being able to step up and actually just provide value. So you don't need a certification or a degree or any of that. Sure, you want to be able to have got results for yourself or for others before you step out. I'm not here saying, hey, just, make it up as you go along. We want to be very clear about that. But, you don't need a qualification to do this. And
100%.
Yeah. And the way that that's what we've stepped out to is working out, okay, what's your framework for success? What have you done yourself to then package that up to get other people through those same steps and help them through in a mastermind setting? Because your people, so let me know, you enrolled, how many people did you enroll in your dietitian mastermind over what time?
So I've enrolled my 11th person today.
Oh, yay, congrats.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the mastermind model, where it can kind of be an ongoing enrollment as well.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I was doing a lot of kind of launches in the past, and it was exhausting for me because it was just a lot of work that went into that, a lot of long hours as well, and it didn't really suit my lifestyle really well. And I wasn't quite ready to do launches for this mastermind model for the practitioner yet. And so I'm just kind of going on an ongoing enrollment basis. And I was only aiming to get 5 to get started.
I was about to bring that up. That Charlyn said to me, well, I only want 5. And I said, why? If you can help more people, why not? And that's the other thing that comes up time and time again. People say, oh, well, I don't want too many people. We put these limitations and restrictions on what we can do, when really you're creating a leverage program. You could have 25 people in there. We just have to build it the right way so that you can still serve those people. So, so go ahead. You were thinking 5, and then what happened at that point where you were like, I've got more
I know,
people?
it's a bit crazy. Yeah, the reason why I want only 5 to start with, because my program wasn't ready. Like when I first enrolled my first client, I didn't have a program. I just had my framework. I talked about it, and people were just approaching me, and I just started posting on Instagram and sharing my experiences and all that. That was how I started, the only platform for people to kind of know what I'm doing. And a lot of them kind of have been following me on my IBS account, and I've just posted a couple of stories about it, and so people started following me on the new account, Nutrition Business, and started engaging with me. And I just started getting on calls to kind of do a bit of market research, I suppose, to understand what they're looking for, what the gaps are. And I picked it up pretty quickly that there's definitely a huge need, especially in Australia as well. And that's what gave me confidence, knowing that yes, there's clearly a gap there. There's clearly practitioners who have got the expertise and the experience, and they've got that brilliant, knowledge that they just aren't getting people coming through. And especially with coronavirus, a lot of people have been struggling to keep the same level of income, and it's discouraging for them. So yeah, and I just continue talking to people. And when I hit 5, Victoria, I remember asking you, what should I do? Should I just, put people on a wait list and then do a proper launch? But, at the rate that I was going, I just thought, why not? I'll open it up and see how it goes. And then 5 grew to 10. And now, I'm looking at, I've just enrolled my 11th client today. So
fantastic. And that's where your collective's going to also come up and help, and it actually makes your job easier when you have more people in there. Now, the other big fear that comes up is, what if I only have one person? And that could have happened to you, right? I mean, we knew pretty much it wasn't going to, but it could have. But by going evergreen with the offer, you can welcome people in at any time and just love up the people that are in your program. That's the best thing that you can do. Love them up, get them great results, because that's going to stand you in great stead for growing and adding. So sure, you're going to work out, well, how do I get the best leverage with these people? I mean, you're going to have a bit of baptism of fire, right? Get them in, but it's the best way to get moving. If you just stayed around and thought, or stayed where you were and thought, right, I'm going to create the program first. Well, you could spend all this time creating the program and then have nobody to sell it to. Maybe you missed the mark in what you were thinking they need. This way, you can actually build it based on the advice and the feedback that they're giving you.
Totally. Yeah. I was ready to actually just have one client, because he reached out to me on, I think, the first week of me starting my account. And I thought, yeah, why not? I'll just have you in here. I'll create stuff as I go. And then, quickly the inquiries started coming in, and it hasn't really slowed me down in my content creation. It's actually helped me to speed things up, because I know people have paid me. They are waiting for, the content. Of course, I'm always ahead of them, but I know they're waiting for stuff to come out. So I've just got, I'm working on my 4th module now. I've got 1 more left, and I should have it done by the end of this month. But I knew that if I had waited to do it before I release it and tell people about it, then I would have missed so much more opportunities. Months and months of people, who can be in there to help me, give me feedback. And I've been adding stuff as people are asking for it, things that I feel are really important for my clients to know. I've added them on trainings and practical walkthrough videos and stuff like that my clients are loving.
Yeah. So, and look, it's important to know too, you only joined Mastermind Success Secrets, the beginning, was it November, December? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, early December.
Okay. So really, a little over 6 months, you created 2 different offerings. Tell us a little bit as well, as a busy mum and wife and business owner, how that's changed your day-to-day life. I know you're not, necessarily like lying back on the banana lounge relaxing, but tell me what, compared to going into the clinic. You went to a couple of different clinics, didn't you?
I had 4 clinics.
4, yeah, I thought you had a few. Yeah, so tell me about how that's changed kind of day to day for you.
Yeah, huge, massively. When I was back then seeing clients in 4 different clinics, there was a lot of traveling involved. And it was fine at that point in time. I was getting consistent income that I was happy with, but I always wanted more. And for me, like, freedom is so important. The ability to be flexible with my calendar. If my daughter was sick, I can stay home with her. If we needed to take 2-3 weeks of holiday, I wouldn't have to cancel on clients. That was the biggest thing for me, because I'm the only practitioner in my business. So if I didn't work and see clients, then I wouldn't be getting any income per se. So, that was okay at that stage, but I knew that in the future it wouldn't really be feasible. And so I wanted to work smarter. And right now, because my practice is fully virtual, I can work from anywhere in the world when we can start traveling again. And I get to control my hours. I still work 4 days a week, doing stuff behind the scenes as well, but I only see clients 3 days a week. So it's given me, extra time to definitely work on the business and be smarter about how to grow it without burning myself out.
Yeah. And I think that's an important point to make too, about the taking time off and the holidays with when you're in that dollars for hours model, or the time for service or fee for service. and you're your own. It's your own business, and you're not an employee. You take the hit, right? If you haven't got anybody there to keep making money for you. But in this model, people will invest with you over a period of time, right? That doesn't mean you can't take any time off, because that's another thing that comes up. This is really good in talking to my clients in these case studies, because I remember now what people sort of say to me about, but I couldn't do that because. So one thing is, I often recommend doing a 12-month mastermind, especially after you've validated it initially with your 3 or 6 months. And you could always have a 3-month and a 12-month at different stages if you want people to go through the 3-month framework and then go to a 12-month. But first thing people say, if I do mention 12 months, or they'll say, but I take Christmas off, or I don't like to work in January, or that's down here in Australia, but in America it might be at the moment, right? Summer, they want to be out on the beach or spending time with their kids on vacation, or whatever it might be, when we're not in times like this. But you can still do that, because people are investing with you over a period of time. So, of course, everybody understands that you can have some time off. And the good thing with the mastermind structure too is that even if you don't wish to have the time off, or you're quite happy to stay plugged in, you might only be having to be somewhere for an hour or two for a weekly group call, which you can do from anywhere in the world. Everywhere generally has internet. I've done mine from like London or Vegas or California, New York, wherever, or Europe. You just kind of make it work. And if you can't make it work, then you just say to everybody, hey, here's what you've got to go on with. I'm going to be taking some time off, and people are really great about that. It's not an issue.
Absolutely. And I find that my clients are less focused on the number of appointments they've got, rather than they're focusing on the results that they're getting and the outcome or getting them through.
Right. Yeah.
And as long as we're clear about, what we're hoping for them to achieve by the milestones that they're hitting by certain months into the program, they're generally fine with it, because they know that it's a process, and they're not, counting by the number of appointments. I've only got 2 left, that sort of thing. And people are less, I find that my clients are less stressed and anxious about that, because they know what to expect, and it's clear on both ends as well.
Yes, it's setting that expectation. So as long as you communicate that clearly, and you give people enough time, rather than, the call's supposed to be tomorrow, and then you say, hey guys, I'm like jumping on a plane. You've got to set those boundaries and expectations, but it works really well. So I think that that's a key differentiation from being in practice. I want to talk about Instagram, because you're such an Instagram, in my mind, a guru. I think you're fabulous at it. And
I would take that title. I love Instagram.
I know you wouldn't say it, but I think you're fabulous at Instagram. So, and I know a lot of people watching this too would, always interested in finding out what's working and what's not. And the testament to your Instagram guru status is that you filled an 11-person mastermind pretty much from Instagram. So tell me, what are your daily Instagram habits, or what are the things that move the needle for you on Instagram?
Yeah, sure. So with Instagram, there's 2 things that I do every day. So I create content and I engage. So those are the key things. And even when I'm not creating content as in posting, I'm still engaging my audience, whether it's responding to people's comments on my post, whether it's in DMs, or then doing my Instagram stories. Because with Instagram, yes, it's a very aesthetically pleasing platform. People love to look at pretty pictures and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I found what really helped me was the connection that I had with my audience, and just getting to know them, being genuine, being myself, and and just being raw about the stuff that I go through as a practitioner, right? Because that's how people connected with me, and then that opened up a conversation, I suppose, for us to talk about some struggles or challenges that they experience, and then it leads to a discovery call.
It's interesting. I love the thought. Instagram is, I saw it referred to, I think, in a Russell Brunson book the other day, how he categorized the social media. So like YouTube was a TV show, Facebook was like the news, Instagram is like a reality show, right? You show behind the scenes, and you give people, you don't have to prep for it or script or think too hard about it. People just want to see those little moments of real life. And I think when you've got a business and you're a business owner and you can share that, it will start to resonate for sure. And I guess people are already seeing you'd already done that quite well with your IBS. So have you got two handles now, or you've still got the same? I know you've got IBS
So I've got two,
dietitian.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
I've
tell me
got
about that.
IBS dietitian,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've got nutrition business as well,
Right,
which is my
nutrition
coaching
business.
business.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you own them
And
both.
the beauty of it is that with nutrition business, like I said, I enrolled my first client in the first week, and I think I was like at 50 followers or something.
Yeah, wow. That's
And then
fantastic.
yeah, and now I'm probably about 700 and something. I can't remember,
You've
but
only had
the
that,
numbers are
yeah.
doesn't matter.
You've only had that for a little while though. That account, so you're
Yeah.
but good to know that, because I think when you start Instagram, you feel like so late to the game, and it's like I don't have many followers, and people get really discouraged. But like you're saying, you enroll a client, you have 50 followers, so.
Yeah.
You got on your IBS dietitian, you got quite a bit more on there. You've done a great job at building that up. But I just congratulate you. You've done such a beautiful job, and you
Thank you.
care about the results that you get your clients, which is an absolute essential. The other success factor for you is that you dropped the whole I have to be perfect to go, not that I'm saying you're perfect to my eyes, darling, but you know what I mean. You drop this BS about needing a qualification or being perfect or being ready or having all these things done to say, all right, yeah, I'm a few steps ahead of the people that I'm teaching. That's all
Yep.
you need to be able to have a clear outcome and promise and be a few steps ahead, which you definitely are. And I'm sure they feel so relieved to have somebody who gets where they're at and has been there and done that as well. And yeah, just also validating an idea, right? Even just using the power of social media to go, okay, well, look, here I'm going to start consistently showing up and sharing. Even if you didn't feel like it. I'm sure there were days where you went, I don't really feel like doing Instagram, but you
Yeah,
show
no,
up.
there are days where I'm just in my PJs and working away on my program content, and I
Yes.
don't feel like showing up. But the beauty of it is that you can still send people DMs and respond to them.
Yes.
You can still respond to people's questions and comments and all of that. And, like with Instagram, I found that being raw and real is so much better than trying and be perfect. I remember those days when I spent hours just trying to create a post that
Yes.
is pretty and stuff. I'm not talking about pictures, but infographics and stuff like that. Those take a lot of
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
And I was just fussing over all the small details. But at the end of the day, like, people just want to learn. They want to get to know you. They want to know what you've got. And, through my IBS account, I found what was the biggest connection point was me just being real about IBS and the fact that I've got the condition. I know what you're going through. And that just really helped people to see me as someone they can approach and talk to about their problems. And again, those led to DMs and just more conversations around that.
Yeah. I always find that as soon as you kind of let that guard down and stop trying to be the expert and the teacher, and getting all those things perfect, like I can totally relate to, setting up your beautiful post or like putting these graphics, and you sit there going, this takes so long, I don't know. And then
writing the captions and all of that,
like,
that
what
all
am I going to
takes time.
say? What about those Instagram accounts where you see them and the people just write the best captions? You're like, how do they do that? It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but it is a matter of doing that, isn't it? Checking out what other people are doing and getting comfortable with it.
Yeah, and I think it's also about being real to you, true to yourself, and the message that you want to share as well. Because a lot of times, we look a lot at what people are doing. We try and mimic that, thinking that they're successful, but behind the scenes, it could be quite different. But the important thing is that we're being genuine about what we want to share. And I find that storytelling kind of on the captions, like making it into like a mini conversation or blog, is really, really important, because then people get to follow through that story. It captures their attention, and then it then leads them to comment as well. If that's what the call to action is, it gets them engaged and they feel like they can really connect with you. Yeah. So, thinking it through and having that system, that framework is important. I do a lot of posts. So I've got my stuff set up for the week. I've got scheduling and all of that, because on top of Instagram, I've got Facebook as well, my Facebook group. So there's a lot going on.
Oh, yeah. So you did start the group too. That was something that we kicked off together too, that we talked about.
For the coaching business.
And how has the Facebook group served you? Like, what? Obviously, Instagram's kind of where it's at for you a lot of the time. But what about the Facebook group too?
Yeah, I know that most of my audience is on
Yeah, I
Instagram, and
think we
that's
talked
fine,
about
but
that.
there's still people on Facebook.
Mm,
And I wanted to use the Facebook group more as a connection point where we can dive deeper into a topic. So,
yeah,
I do live trainings on there every 1 or 2 weeks and just really go deep in a topic and giving people snippets of info, not snippets, but value
yes,
information, really.
yes,
And that's led to a lot of private messages as well from people
right,
saying, oh, I'd love to find out more about your mastermind program, and then we just go on and chat from there on.
yeah,
Yeah, it's really just opening up that conversation, right? Not everyone's a good fit, and
mm,
but at least I can see that there's a lot of interest coming through, and I've actually said no to quite a few people because they're
mm,
just not quite ready
mm-hmm,
for that level of commitment to the
yes.
business.
So being
Yeah.
able to discern, and how have you found as well in the work that we've done together to be able to, I give you a framework for the calls that you can make your own. But I remember when you first started using it, you were like, oh, I followed it and it
Yeah.
worked, right?
Mm, yeah, and it's not about following a script when it comes to
No.
discovery call, because it's really for me to discover more about that person's challenges and
Mm,
issues that they're facing, getting to that deep level of what they really want from that. For example, with IBS clients, they struggle with gut issues on a daily basis. A lot of them go through really debilitating
mm,
symptoms as well, and it's digging deeper and finding out more about those, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I'm a good fit for them and they're a
mm,
good fit for me as a client as well. And I don't want to take on someone for 6 months
mm.
and not, be able to click with them or not be the best person
Yes.
to help them, because that will be doing disservice for both of us.
Mm,
So I like to get deep into what issues they're facing, talk about what the program is. They can ask questions, I can address the objections and go from there. Like, I don't follow a script anymore, but I know the key points that I
yes.
need to
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it gave you that kind of confidence to go, okay, well, where are we headed with the call and making the most of your time and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it just takes practice. You've probably done, so I can only imagine how many you've done, given how many you've been enrolling in your new mastermind and in your other program too. So you close to expert status on that one too, which is
I'm still
fabulous.
learning,
We're always
but it's
still
fun.
learning.
And I love discovery calls now. I used to
Yeah.
hate them because,
Mm-hmm.
well, not hate them, that's a strong
Yeah.
word, but I used to dislike them because
Mm.
I felt like it was a time sucker. I
Yeah.
already didn't have enough time for my practice
Mm.
clients, and now I got to do all these calls. But once I had the framework and a screening process as well as to
Yeah.
who I invite on to the call, they have to fill in an application to work with me, answer some questions, and then I'll take them on to the call if they are a good fit for the program, and then we'll dive deeper into it.
Mm.
So having that in
Beautiful.
place just reduce the number of no-shows for me,
Yeah.
and yeah, it gives me a huge level of satisfaction to be able to connect with people, even if I can't help them. I'm still giving them some value on the call, things
Yes.
that they can work on as well. Yeah.
Love that. Love that. And the webinar too. I wanted to mention before we wrap up that you were able to create the webinar for the IBS program. That was one of your key parts. So that's been another tool that can kind of work alongside what you've been doing as well. So that was something you tried. Did you do one for the other clients too? You did for the new mastermind, the business
No,
mastermind.
I
You didn't even
haven't.
need to do
Yeah.
that. So no
No.
webinars, no ads, just Instagram. You're a machine. I love it.
It's insane. And I'm still, some days sitting there in disbelief, but I know that there's a clear need out there in the market.
Mm,
Yes, there are the dietitian business coaches, and I admire what they do, but I feel like I bring a sort of different flavor to the market with my experience in premium pricing, charging premium pricing, and
yes.
creating a program that we're
Yeah.
all proud of. And, I'm very purpose-driven person. So I want to make sure that with my programs
Mm,
and with clients' programs that it really helps to solve a problem, and
yes.
we can help clients to create that transformation. So yeah, the stuff that I am doing at the moment, I'm so happy to be
Oh,
doing that because
so
it's
good.
really just fueling my passion. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's something that I've never imagined myself to be doing right now. And
Yeah.
to be honest, I thought that this coaching business will probably start 10 years down the track, not
But
now.
hey, fast track it. Why not? It's beautiful. I've loved watching your journey. Thank you for sharing it with us. Where can people find you? Because I'm sure there's probably dietitians and practitioners within this group too. So where can they find you? What's the best way to reach out to you?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm on Instagram, and my IBS account is IBS Dietitian,
Mm-hmm.
and my coaching business is Nutrition Business. And it's the same exact same handle on Facebook as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. Great. definitely check out her Charlyn's Instagram. It's awesome. Charlyn Oy.
Instagram.
Thank you so much for taking the time
Thank you.
out to share. I think everyone would have got some great value there, and there were some beautiful takeaways. I love working with you. We've still got lots of things to do and share in Mastermind Success Secrets. So thanks for being a part of that too. And yeah, we'll chat soon.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Bye, everyone.
Bye.